Welcome back on the AM show. Think about the United States, nations, I should say, and many of these intergovernmental organizations. They have youth wings. Now, have you ever considered what it could be if we built up our youth to take up key positions in our country? We can talk of the judiciary. Well, there are systems involved, the executive, and even the legislature. Well, there is Ghana's youth president. It's a conversation with the current youth president, Evans Hoki, as he shares what he's achieved during his tenure. He'll be getting into that. Of course, there is the TV program which airs on Joy Prime as well. Mr. Hoki, a very good morning to you, sir.
Very good morning. And thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. We also have joining the conversation Joshua Kwesi Tete, who is Youth Member of Parliament for Afram Plains South. Mr. Tete, if you can hear me, a very good morning to you too. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you both. Now, coming to you first, Mr. Hoki, you as president, you've been at the helm of affairs. You are actually rounding up on your term. But here's something interesting, especially as young people. We often, lambast our leaders and we call for more. Do tell us about how much you've been able to achieve within this period that you've been Ghana's youth president. What has the experience been like? And what basically are some of the things that you celebrate as youth leader of this country?
Thank you. And I think that is a very important question that we all have to answer. It is very important to note that during my tenure of office, I have been able to engage with quite Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Great. So during my time, or within the time frame, I've had the opportunity to work with quite a number of our youth in the diaspora and even in our country. We have been embarking on what we call the employability skills development training, which is going nationally. We have engaged quite a number of our youth who, by reasons of the pandemic, have fallen short in their economic recovery, and have also made sure that we have connected the essential ingredients they need to succeed in the work environment, and also in their side of going into entrepreneurship. It's been a very fantastic journey because now you get people to talk to, you get connections, and most importantly, you get the vast responsibility on your shoulders to be a role model to others. And I think it's been a fantastic experience so far. Connecting it with, talking about the positions of our leaders and what we have, we expect of them. I think usually when you are in the positions like this, you begin to gather feedback from a lot of people, because the direction you're going is not alone. You would need people to guide you. So in terms of, the principles of leadership, is more about mentorship and guidance that I've gotten from quite a number of top people in government, and also my own network, and they have guided me throughout this journey.
Can you name some of these people who have been your mentors and guided you on this journey? Are there any you'd like to celebrate?
Dr. Baba Sayuti is one of the people who is actually taking me through the process. Some of them I have not spoken through to them before, but I have also been following their leads and also mapping up some of the things that they are doing. And Kojo Oponkroma is one of the typical example of people that I've been following keenly. Apart from that, the president himself has also been one of my strong pillars that I emulate anytime I seek to engage like minds like myself. And because of his composure and how he's able to align feedback with progressive trends in the country, it's been fantastic.
Let me interact with Mr. Tete now. Now, you are Youth Member of Parliament for Afram Plains South. Before I get into what the experience has been like, tell me a bit about your constituency. What is it like? What do you think stands out in Afram Plains South?
All right, so once again, let me use this opportunity to say that actually youth for Afram North and not Afram Plains.
Oh, okay. All right, so Afram Plains North instead. Our apologies.
Afram Plains North. Our apologies.
So moving on to your question, I would like to make it known that Afram Plains North actually is one of the largest districts across the country, and then the land is almost covering 1/3 of it, with almost 70% being covered by water, which actually makes the habitats scattered mostly on the islands located in the district, the Dwarf and the Dija Island. So the place is being shared with the Volta region, that is to Ake to Bando, the Volta region.
Mr. Tete, or the Member of Parliament, Youth Member of Parliament for Afram Plains North. It's unfortunate that the connection is not allowing us to hear him as well as we would have wanted. But so, Your Excellency, I think I might as well call you, Mr. Hoki. Now, you started talking about that employability skills drive, and I just had you hold it there because I wanted us to get into it a bit more. Usually governments would put out figures about those they have aided to get employment and all of that. How many people would you say this drive has empowered, this entrepreneurial drive? Do you have any facts, figures, numbers to share with us? Mr. Hoki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you get the question?
The project is slated to connect close to 18,000 people across the country. And so far, we have been able to connect up to about 6 regions, 18,000 youth across the country. And we have reached 6 regions for now. Among the 6 regions, we have connected to close to 7,000. And it is imperative to also note that the enthusiasm that these youth are using to join the program that we have rolled out, it's fantastic. It tells you that people now want to set up their own businesses, manage their own affairs, and take responsibility. And this is where I would urge the government to consider making it a keen interest to supporting and giving platforms such as what YLP has done to quite a number of our youth who are also interested in becoming very good politicians and also delve into governance in future. And even more so entrepreneurship, which is taking our country to its needed perspective. And so it's been so nice how these youth are able to come in within and understand the concept of entrepreneurship you marvel some of the ideas that some of these people have and how they are changing the course
do share some of those ideas that they've brought to
in
bear.
their environment.
Do share some of those ideas that they've been sharing with you, those who are partaking in this program. Any that have, particularly caught your attention?
Yes. So, for example, in the northern region, where we engaged people in 3 districts, Sagnerigo, Savelugu, and Tolong, there were these 2 ladies who had the intention of not only, becoming agripreneurs, but also becoming businesswomen. They had this fantastic idea to market the produce from their farms. And surprisingly, these people are not even highly educated. They have this local concept that appeals to the market so that whatever you need in terms of food stuff, in terms of some of the things that you need at home, they are able to connect directly with you. Wherever you are, they do delivery with an excellent customer service package that they also give. And they do it in a very local way. And that's so fantastic, even though they don't have that high level of education. And I think that these people, if you regularize their idea, if you want to add some form of new trends in marketing and business to them, I tell you, they will make progress, and they would never think of coming down to Accra to find greener pastures. They can make it wherever they find themselves.
And that's a very important point you make. It's something that we've been trying to achieve, to even, stop this rural-urban drift that we've seen in the country. Because if we're able to create jobs in the different regions, in the different districts and all of that, it would actually stop the influx of people, all of them coming into the major cities to look for jobs. But I'm going to put you on the spot a bit. And I think it's crucial that we do this, because we do that to our leaders. And you are a future leader. You started on the path already. These 7,000 that you mentioned across 6 regions, is there a tally of them? I mean, can you give us, if we approached you and said, Mr. Youth President, you've spoken of 7,000 people whom you've aided to get into these entrepreneurial drives, would you be able to produce names for us? It's just a bit of a tricky spot I'm putting you in, but a spot of accountability as well. What's your response?
I can tell you, we can produce fact, we can produce data, and we can produce up to a point to know where they live. Now, the structures that we put together to get this project running is more of sustainability, more than just a one-whip drive on the project, because we do not want to lose sight of their progress. And if you want to actually consider today's best project, then you have to get a very solid sustainability plan. And that is what guides us to actually drive our project forward. So we can give you details of it. We can give you details of, their contact. Maybe what we cannot get for now is perhaps their email addresses because of their locations and because of how they relate. But we can give you data of how we have engaged with them and the progress each of them is making. One other thing is that we have field officers who actually have a timely visit to these people. And this project stretched to a 12 months schedule. So these field officers are expected or mandated to be with them, guide them when they need support, and also give them some form of motivation and encouragement to still perceive, be successful at whatever they have decided to take up. So I can give you data. I can give you more information on these 7,000 that we've been able to reach so far.
To your elbow. If you can do this even at this stage, then who knows what you could do if the country were given to you in real life. But let's also have Kobe Fabian, who is coordinator of the GYP, that is Ghana's youth president. And there's a lot more coming up because these are outgoing officers. We have incoming officers, and the show continues to be aired on Joy Prime. Tell us a bit more about what to expect, how these incoming officers are going to be appointed and all of that. Give us the whole story.
So thank you very much for the opportunity this morning, and greetings to His Excellency Evans Adam Hockey and Joshua Tete. I must say that in the last 1 year since they were elected, they've done a great job. This Saturday, we are starting the new journey for a new set of leaders. Basically, what's going to happen is there's going to be 12 weeks of leadership competition for the next crop of leaders who would be taking over from Evans and his team. There are going to be episodes where they will be challenged to present alternative ideas on 10 ministries. So we've constituted 3 model governments. So there'll be a presidential candidate with his ministers designate and MPs and diplomats with their manifesto, and they'll be competing against another government and another government. So there's 3 different governments. So the challenge is basically on the Make Ghana Great Again manifesto, alternative ideas of young people that can transform and change this country to make it great again. So these 15 weeks we're talking about, which obviously will start on Joy Prime and will be shown, in other affiliated multimedia platforms, will be a leadership competition of these aspiring youth presidents, youth ministers, and youth MPs and diplomats. So ultimately, these judges who score them on their manifesto, they will also need to be able to have the skill to engage the general public and get them to vote for them. So it is not only about having the nicest document that speaks about some policy ideas, but you should be able to sell the idea to your followers or to the citizens and get the citizens to buy into it. So these are the 2 pillars within which the judges will be assessing them on. Now, at the end of the 15 weeks, there's going to be our annual awards event, which will award the potential winners. That is the Millennium Youth Impact Awards. It is part of the Ghana Youth President journey. So this award will assess who had the highest score as a president of the 3 governments, who had the highest score as a finance minister, who had the highest score as the education minister, gender, children, and social protection, so on and so forth.
Right.
Within the 15 weeks journey. And then we will declare the next Ghana's youth president, the next youth minister of finance, energy, education, and so on and so forth. So that is how the journey is going to go. Now, every episode within the 15 weeks has a theme. Now, for example, I can tell you that the first episode theme is on the COVID. So they'll be they would have to present ideas on how can Ghana come out of this COVID. What are the ideas they can bring forward? And what are the policies that government should look at to enforcing agencies that are working around the health sector to make Ghana be able to emerge out of the COVID.
Okay.
Episode 2 will deal with Galamsey. So under the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, within the competition, those that are youth ministers of environment will be coming up with how can we fight Galamsey and come out of it? How can we protect our water bodies and make sure that water is available and can be sustained into the future? Okay, and then you go into episode 3, which will talk about the theme is the Made in Ghana Week. which they will be now coming up
So
with
one thing is
ideas
clear,
of how
Kobe.
we
One thing
can
is very clear,
promote
that
local businesses.
You have quite a structure for the 15-week bid, and it will be very interesting following all 15 weeks and what is going to happen. But it is also, very important that you're rolling out the next group of leadership, from president to members of parliament and others, even diplomats as well, who are all youth and who are going to be grooming themselves for the future. This is a discourse that we're going to continue, not just here, but on Joy Prime, live on television as well. But at this point, I'd just like to say a very big thank you to you, Kobe Fabian, Coordinator, Ghana's Youth President, Evans Hoki, who is actually the Ghana Youth President, and you will be signing off soon, handing over. And we also have Mr. Tete, who is the Member of Parliament. Thank you all for joining the conversation. We'll take a breather. When we return, we'll get into the bit about former Special Prosecutor Martin Amidou. He has his latest epistle out, and it punches some holes in, well, some of the discussions we've been having with regard to the appointment of a new Special Prosecutor and even interests when it comes to Ejapa royalties. All that you need to know when we return on the AM Show.